Hey guys, George MJL Performance here. I give you a little update what's coming up next. This used to be a 454 LSX GM crate engine, the 630 horsepower version or 620 horsepower version. I changed the complete rotating assembly to our 1400 horsepower MGR basic rotating that we use, 1500, around, depending on the application. This is going to be a nitrous deal. So basically consists of a Manley 4340 crank, Manley H-Tough H-beam rods with ARP 2000 bolts. Put a set of nice Wiseco dome pistons. This should put us, I'm waiting for the head gaskets from Cometic, because I de-stroked the engine. It was a 4.125 stroke. I went down to 4.1 stroke. This way my piston is about 16 to 18 thousandths depending on the four corners in the hole. So I can run a 40 gasket. It will be about almost 60 thou quench, since it's running about 150 to 250 to 300, depends. They all say 150, but before you know it, there's going to be running a 40 jet in here. So that's how it starts, but I overbuilt the engine for that specific reason. So I put H13 tool steel pins on it, good rings. We'll rehome the cylinders. I did a custom grind camshaft because this deal is it's kind of like a Copo Camaro 2013-14. I think it's Gas Monkey something. Sorry if I'm saying it the wrong way, Jeff. But it's not a light car. It's about probably 3,500 pounds with a driver. So I went a little bit conservative on the camshaft because he runs on the motor and sometimes he runs with a small shot of nitrous. Depends on the index class. So I didn't want it to go run slower than before on motor. I wanted to go faster on motor, right? So it used to be 454 cubic inch, now it's 451 cubic inch. It used to be 11 to 1, now it should be about 13 to 1. The cylinder heads were flowing like 330-ish, 340, 335. It's the LSX GM cylinder heads. Watch my other video. I got them to flow 386 or 388 on the intake and about 270 on the exhaust. And it's, sorry guys, a little bit of a mess because I'm by myself. Today there is a huge snowstorm, so don't mind my floor. I'm stepping outside the shop. I come in, it makes mud. We're in Canada, it's like minus 20 today or minus 15 Celsius. We don't have a Florida type of weather over here, so it's very hard to maintain a clean floor, and I would like to be spotless, but it's almost impossible. My work is flawless, but that's another thing altogether. So I'll give you some specs on the camshaft. So 451 cubic inch. The intake duration, it's a little bit over 250 on the intake, and the exhaust is high 260s. Okay, I'm not gonna give exact specs. The lobe separation is to work with this cubic inch and about the 300 shot of nitrous. So it's not a tight lobe separation cam, that's for sure. I'm running Johnson limited, not short travel lifters. It's this one's here that you have to have a little bit of preload on it. It's a reduced travel. Since I don't have adjustable rockers, I'm running the stock rockers with the upgrade. So I did not put zero lash ones because it's going to be inconsistent. It's not perfect when you putting the preload into the measurement of the push rod. It still has the titanium and sodium filled exhaust valves We spoke with the client. It wasn't in the budget this year to do all new titanium valves, brass guides and all that stuff. We're going to do it on the next refresh, maybe in 2 years from now. And yeah, soon it's going to be on the dyno. And I'm waiting for the head gaskets from Comatic, and then I'm ready to go. So that's one. That's it's a 6-liter Panty series that I got done refreshing over here. It's all spec. All the parts are from Robert Yates. You can't fool around. You get kicked out of the race series, and we respected all the rules and everything. We bought everything from them. That's the next one to go on the dyno, maybe even before that one. It's one second. This is external oil pump. Dry sump. Yes, this is a dry sump setup. Sorry, I got all mixed up. So, but it's restricted with this spacer that's like a 390 CFM. So I'm not expecting that much out of that. Then this one here, it's a 6.1 Hemi. I got done all my clearances. The guy wanted it demon red. It's painted. This is the rotating that's going in it. It's all ready to go. He went to another shop previously, and there was issues and there was some mistakes. And one of the mistakes they did, these beautiful connecting rods, they're billet Manleys. They went to grind on the caps. Meanwhile, the set, it's a $2,000 set of connector rods, US, or $3,000 Canadian, whatever they're worth exactly. And the guy decided to go grind on the connecting rods. So I suggested to the client that we need to change them, because I got a phone call right there. So as I was saying, this is how the original rod comes, right? This is a weight match set. You don't need to touch anything. This is old school stuff that people used to do on stock connecting rods. You don't take a set of beautiful billet rods like these and grind them. You lose the rigidity, all the strength of the connector rod. Anyways, so we're building the motor with these rods because the customer doesn't have the budget to rebuy these rods. Plus, they need to be special order. It took him 4 or 5 months to get these rods the first time. So he's not gonna, by the way, it's a turbo setup. So he's not gonna go crazy the first year, and he's gonna see how it goes. I think it's gonna be okay, but this is wrong what the other shop did. So I would have never done something like that. Anyways, it's got the good pins. It's got a decent set of pistons. It's gonna make a nice piece. Like I said, sometimes we cannot do, not sometimes, 99.9% of the time, I cannot do exactly what I want to do because there is a budget to respect. And this comes for every shop. And when things fail, people like to blame the shop. But in my case, I don't have much failure, if any. So many years in my engines, I have engines 12, 14 years still running. So I do my work properly, but sometimes the client just doesn't want to spend, you know. We can't do miracles. You know, we have to respect budget, you know what I mean? Like, I've done every setup you can imagine in my own personal car. This one, it used to be an F3 big block Chevy, never broke anything. This is another customer of mine. Raced this thing for 5 years, 384 cubic inch Windsor. It was running 480s back in the day. The motor got sold to somebody else, still running. That thing was running 470s, 572 cubic inch with a set of AFR cylinder heads. There were 305s that I hand ported a little bit. It was a light car. That engine got sold, still running somewhere else. That was my car with a 632, fuel injected, single carb. Made 1140 with AFR. He made 1117 with a carburetor, and he picked up almost 20 horsepower with a fuel injection, 3,200 CFM AccuFab throttle body that I had on it. Not because fuel injection makes more power. It's just because it was almost like running a tunnel run with that thing. And a small shot, it went 480 something. I could never get the traction. Sold it to another customer. It's coming out with a big tire car. This thing was I think I did 830 at the wheels on motor on my dyno through an automatic. And at 2940 that my car weighed, I hit the rev limiter before I crossed the quarter-mile trap, and it went 167 miles an hour in the quarter. So you let me know if that thing was making 1140 or not. It would have went 170 if I didn't have my rev limiter at 74, 75 or something like that, with a 370 gear in the back or 389 gear, because that was a 4 3/4 stroke, and I had the Molnar crank, Molnar rods. I didn't want to spin the motor to like 8+ with a stroke like that. So I hit the rev limiter, it still went 166. It went 8. It came out 148 with a nitrous converter, or 146 or something, like not good because it was so tight, the converter. And it went 130, I would like to say 135 or 34 or 36 on the 8th on motor, and the back half 30 something miles an hour back half. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going off subject right now. So there's gonna be some more videos on this once I get done to go to the dyno. And these are they're all assembled, the cylinder heads on this deal for the 496 big block Chevy. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. Hit a like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys following.